Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Nine years ago, a startup that would eventually be called Ripple Labs came onto the fintech scene with a promising plan to provide financial institutions with fast, low-cost clearance of trans-border money transfers. To make it happen, the company set up a network on which transactions sped across the globe in form of a cryptocurrency called XRP, which Ripple specially created for the task. But thanks to its eventual popularity outside of that application, XRP has turned out to be a sort of time clock with a very long fuse for Ripple. That time finally went off last year when the SEC filed a lawsuit against Ripple and its current and former CEOs, claiming that selling XRP constituted the offering of an unregistered security, essentially an illegal IPO. While opinions differ on whether the SEC has a strong case against Ripple, almost everyone agrees that the underlying problem is a lack of clarity over how cryptocurrency can be regulated in ways that don't sabotage the industry or unfairly target companies and investors who have had little way of knowing they were running afoul of regulators. Today, let's talk about why crypto investors are watching this case so closely and why it could have a lasting impact on all crypto. The XRP SEC lawsuit didn't exactly come out of nowhere. The SEC has been breathing down the necks of crypto firms for years, occasionally giving out warnings, lawsuits, and penalties. The first serious action took place in 2013 when the agency closed down Bitcoin Savings and Trust as a Ponzi scheme. The man behind it, Trendon Shavers, was sentenced to 1.5 years in prison. That action confirmed the obvious. Fraud is fraud, whether in dollars or cryptocurrency. And in fact, most of the 75 cryptocurrency operations that the SEC would go after between 2013 and 2020 were relatively small schemes. But starting in 2017, regulatory clouds started to gather over large, seemingly legitimate, more mainstream ICOs. Bitcoin was likely safe. The agency allowed because no company issued or controlled it, and so was Ether, the second most popular cryptocurrency, because the foundation that originally issued it was a non-profit, and all control over the currency had since been entirely decentralized. But other existing or future issuers of digital currencies were put on notice. The first to be stung was Block.one, whose 2017 $4 billion sale of EOS tokens, to this day the world's largest ICO, earned the company an SEC investigation, resulting in a $24 million settlement. In 2019, the SEC really started lowering the unregistered security boom. In June of that year, the agency filed suit against Canadian messaging app company Kick Interactive, which had 2 years earlier netted over $100 million from an ICO for its Kin digital tokens, about half of them from U.S. investors. Kick was ultimately forced to pay a $5 million fine. Later that same year, the SEC forced the Telegram Group, which runs the Telegram messaging service, to halt its ongoing ICO, and eventually made the company return $1.2 billion to those who had bought into it and pay a penalty of $18.5 million. Ripple, for its part, has loudly begged to differ. In its filings and public statements, the company asserts it had nothing to do with XRP's creation or how the cryptocurrency is managed and maintained, or at least no more than any other owner of the tokens. In 2018, Ripple's Regulatory Relations Director, Ryan Zagon, testified to Britain's Parliament, saying XRP is open source and it was not created by our company. So that existed as an open source technology. We created a company that was interested in modernizing payments and then began using that open source tech to do so. We didn't create XRP. We do own a significant amount of XRP. It was gifted to us by some of the open source developers that created it. But there's not a direct connection between Ripple, the company, and XRP. Preston Bryan, an attorney at law firm Anderson Kill, specializing in cryptocurrency, notes that Ripple and its founders and managers have left their footprints all over XRP. And to this day, many investors and institutions, including NASDAQ, refer to the currency as Ripple or Ripple XRP. He points out that while control over XRP is in fact somewhat decentralized, it's not nearly as decentralized as Bitcoin and Ether. Ripple owns much of the software that remains essential to maintaining the smooth processing and validation of XRP transactions, as well as the financial network software that make the most use of it. In that sense, the company's success as a software developer could be seen as spilling into XRP's value. What's more, notes the SEC because the company and executives own most of the cryptocurrency themselves. They are in a unique position to impact the price of XRP by deciding when to sell new, large, potentially market-moving chunks of tokens without any warning to outside XRP holders. In naming Ripple's CEO Brad Garlinghouse and former CEO and co-founder Chris Larsen as defendants in the suit, the SEC noted that Garlinghouse has personally sold 321 million XRP tokens to the public, and Larsen has sold 1.7 billion. Though Ripple disputes these claims in its response to the SEC suit, why then the outcry over the SEC's Ripple action? It's mostly because the SEC had seemingly shrugged off Ripple's XRP for more than 7 years. That long silence may well have led the company and XRP investors to assume negative things. Outside of the SEC, there seems a growing consensus that XRP and other major cryptocurrencies ought to be regulated as currencies, not securities. XRP is already treated entirely as a currency by regulators in a number of countries, including the UK, Japan, and Switzerland, and is enlisted as a form of money by hundreds of banks, companies, and consumer apps. Even the US Treasury Department considers it to be a currency. That resulted in Ripple being claimed wasn't fully hewing to bank regulations. Under the terms of a settlement, Ripple paid $700,000 in fines and tightened up its bank transfer operations. That settlement specifically acknowledged that in the Treasury's eyes, XRP is a currency, not a security. In addition to the impact of the suit on XRP's value, some 50 cryptocurrency exchanges delisted XRP or suspended trading in it. Many, perhaps even most of the XRP holders, burned by the plunge, had never even heard of Ripple Labs, let alone intended to invest in the company, or so plausibly claims John Deaton, managing partner at the Deaton law firm, who's representing some 19,000 XRP holders who are seeking legal standing in the SEC suit. A lot of them knew just enough about digital currency to want to invest in the top currencies, so they bought Bitcoin, Ether, and XRP, said Deaton. They bought XRP to diversify without knowing a thing about Ripple and its executives. The SEC suit is seen by some as chilling to the entire cryptocurrency industry, an explosively growing and already deeply influential one. The growth curves are crazy, said Byrne. 1 to 2% of the population holds cryptocurrency, but at current growth rates, we're not far from the day it's 70%. If the Ripple suit contributes to the perception that the US government is unfriendly to cryptocurrency, a lot of valuable businesses will go elsewhere. It would certainly add to the already intense concerns over China's hopes to dominate the global market via its central bank digital yen. The lack of regulatory clarity in the US is problematic for all market participants in the digital asset industry, said Ripple General Counsel Stuart Alderoty in an emailed statement. This is not just a Ripple problem. It's hard to predict how the SEC suit will play out. Ripple's currently fighting it out with the agency in the U.S. Court for the Southern District of New York. The case is in discovery now under a magistrate who has so far proved friendly to some of Ripple's pointed requests. Whatever the ultimate court decision or settlement, the outcome is certain to impact the cryptocurrency world. The case is already turning up pressure on both the SEC and Congress to clarify the law and regulation governing cryptocurrency, particularly in terms when a cryptocurrency is or isn't a security. The fixes are doubtless coming, but it remains to be seen whether any of them will happen in time to help Ripple and the XRP investors. Let us know if you agree that the case with the XRP Ripple could have a lasting impact on all crypto. If you're looking to learn more about business topics like this, stay tuned for our later videos. We'll go into depth on various other topics that we're sure will interest you. Also, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you next time.